duties for several days, and the 29th of March, the division completed its movement to the East Bank and assembled in the vicinity of Hosfeld.
Who went to hospital?
Hosfeld.
Huntsville.
Okay. In the meantime, the 75th Reconnaissance Troop reconnected routes to the forward assembly in the vicinity of Imlo, where the division completed concentration on 30th of March. Corps attack ordered. Field Order Number 14, issued at 1700 hours, projected a continuation of the Corps attack towards the cross of Dartmund's Canal.
Dortmund.
Say that again? Dortmund's Canal, where it ran parallel to the Rhine River. The operation was carried out against many formidable obstacles. The Gravely Plateau, which the division fought, had numerous heavy forests, eliminating fields of fire. It also interlaced by systems of canals averaged 10 feet in depth and 150 in width, with steep banks. It also contained many village cities and industrial plants, all capable of a conversion into strong points and furnishing cover for snipers. It bristled with anti-aircraft weapons capable of use against ground troops. Finally, first-class troops of the 116th Panzer, 180th and 190th, and the 2nd Power Division were deployed to the area.
They put tanks over that bridge too.
What?
They put tanks over that bridge too.
That must have been a sight.
How many tanks went across?
Huh?
How many tanks went across? How many tanks?
Probably 6, 7.
This was the scene of some of the fiercest fighting and tenacious resolve not to give up 1 inch of the German soil. It was also the area where some of our highest losses were encountered, not much on the divisional level, but on a squad and a platoon level. The division jumped off at 600 hours after a 30-minute artillery preparation. The objective was line running south from Lipti-Saiten Canal, past the town of Drave, just a short edge of a die-hard forest. The 8th Armored Division was on the division's right, with the 289th Infantry on the right and the 291st Infantry on the left. We had gotten into a heavy industrial sector with Panzer's division slugging it out with us. Help from the tanks and the tanks' destroyers was out of the question, as the area was so dense with industrial buildings and superstructures. We usually set a gun up in a second-story building, not knowing exactly what the building was itself. Most equipment was rusted out, and it seemed that it had been abandoned a while before it was operating. Most of the vats and containers were still filled with whatever they were making. German machine guns propped up everywhere, and Germans were into shelling as they were hunkered down in the factories with their 2-foot thick concrete walls in series. The combat was reduced to a simple equation: man against gun, grenade against grenade, rifle against rifle, and machine gun against machine gun. We would hear the rapid fire of the machine gun and then fire in retaliation with their tracers and armor piercing. It was here that I developed a healthy respect for German machine guns, as they are far superior weapon than our own. Why do you think the German machine guns were a far superior weapon to the Americans?
Superior?
Yeah, why did you think the Germans' machine guns were superior?
They were lighter, they were more versatile and they had heavy belt issues. They had more belts.
The Germany's army firm belief in the machine gun rather than the rifle as most important infantry weapon was in direct contrast to the Americans' tactical doctrine. The U.S. infantry squad consisted of 12 men, one of whom carried a Browning automatic rifle with fired clips of 20 to 30 caliber rounds, and about one-third the rate of an M642. Other soldiers in the squad were equipped with semi-automatic M1 Garand rifles, with an occasional sniper armed with a bolt-action M1903 Springfield. So why would the snipers have a bolt-action rifle?
You know what?
Why would the snipers have a bolt-action rifle?
Bolt action is more accurate.
And those are primarily Springfields.
Those were World War I rifles too.
Oh, from 1903.
Yeah.
The American prescribed tactics of suppression of the enemy was the combined use of infantry rifles backed up by BAR, followed by finally rushing using grenades and bayonets. In contrast, the average German squad consisted of 9 men centered on their Schlütz, and their name for the M642 operator. German squad leaders carried machine pistols, the MP40s, which were light submachine guns of notoriously precise accuracy. It only fired tracers, so the squad leader could direct his men's attention to the selective target. The rest of the squad had considerably less regard for the Mauser 98K, a bolt-action rifle, rather than their American counterparts.
That was an 03 rifle.
Yeah, made for the M1 Garand rifle. For one, that the Mauser was bolt-action as against the semi-automatic Garand. Also, the Garand was a better-made piece of equipment which could sustain the rigors of combat and was therefore easily to maintain in service. The German squad's principal duty was to support the M642's crew. When Schlütz advanced to the new position, the riflemen helped dig into his defensive position, or the Schlusslackey, and then fanned out to scout for him. They were also expected to carry extra ammunition. The Schlütz one was his 26-pound M642 and could quickly as move as any rifleman set up his position in a matter of seconds. In 944 and the 193s, U.S. Army average rifle company was supported. 2 light machine guns were attached to a separate weapons platoon, along with 9 BRIs in respective squads. The German company of 142 men had 15 machine guns plus 28 submachine guns, all distributed within each squad. Each down to 50 men, German company was capable of pinning down advancing troops along a 1,000-yard front. So as long as the M642s were functioning and the 20 soldiers were not working the machine guns, were relying on a steady supply of ammunition to the M642s. Both American and German infantry battalions, including a specialized heavy weapons company equipped with heavy machine guns and mortars. American Heavy Weapons Company had 8 Browning M1917 water-cooled machine guns, which each weighed about 100 pounds. The tripod alone weighed 50 pounds. A German Schwa grenade equipment consisted of 6 M642s on a tripod, similar to those of the earlier M634s, along with 3 standard M642s. Later in the war, Allies attempted to produce a copy of the M642, but it proved impossible. The Allies' .30 caliber cartridge was slightly longer than a 7.92 millimeter cartridge of the M642s, would not eject efficiently without a major design in the gun. So the American Army was still trying to update their weapons, but they weren't having much success in updating weapons.
They got what?
Even during the war, the American Army was still trying to update their weapons to get more efficient weapons.
Yeah.
How much time?
18.
After the war, the M642 and the tactics developed around it would have a profound effect on the use of automatic weapons support in post-war armies. Present-day German Bundeswehr continues to use the M642 in a modified form as the M61. The U.S. Army incorporated some of the technical concepts into the M60 machine gun. I did not care much about those second-story gun positions. I felt trapped with no way out. There were usually only one way up and consequently only one way down unless you jumped out the second-story window with a 100-pound machine gun. The fear of a counterattack was always the uppermost in her mind, and it seemed the fact that the Germans had an inexhaustible supply of fresh troops to throw it into the fray. Most of the counterattacks were beaten back with high concentration of firepower, machine guns, anti-aircraft fire, and tank guns used as direct fire weapons at the oncoming enemy. Mostly it was the individual soldier laying his life on the line and going the extra effort to combat the oncoming enemy. Most acts of heroism were unrecorded for the simple fact that they were taken as only routine tasks and nothing out of the ordinary. I have gotten used to the replacement, and I believe that they have gotten used to my ways. Calhoun had become indispensable as a gunner, and he had a natural talent for it, although he took many unnecessary chances, and I would admonish him for it. Shepard and Tuttle were a bit more reserved in their actions, which I thought was all right as compared to Calhoun. We had not received a replacement for Eisler or the other ammo bearers who became casualties. We were resorting to was creating a sort of ad hoc unit thrown together from survivors of the shattered companies. Instead of the usual 4-squad platoon, we would be down to a 2-squad platoon and pick up our other manpower from the rifle company we became attached to.
15.
We take a break.
Yeah, this would be good.
The rifle company would be in the same predicament as us, and we would have to make with what was available. No, I'm going to continue to read, but
Okay.
I'm gonna-
So, John, did any of
okay, we'll
the,
just take a break right now.
yeah,
And then pick right back up?
no, because it's rolling.
Okay, then we'll keep on reading.
Hey, John, So you weren't getting replacements for your troop? You weren't getting replacements?
No, they were trickling in, yeah. One or two at a time, yeah.
Okay.
But we were under strength.
And many times, if they position you on a second-story building, that wasn't a good position to be in.
No, that's the old story. Don't go to the buildings. Stay out. Stay out. They'll zero out that thing and throw a cannon in there and that's it.
Yeah.
How many times did you go to a second-story building?
How many times?
Yeah.
Not very often. I stayed out in the cold all the time. That's why I got frostbite my hands and everything else. Stay out, I said, stay out. Don't go to those damn buildings. They'll throw a mortar shell in there, blow that building up, and they got 15 people killed.
So you made a point to stay out.
Oh, yeah.
Did they teach you that, or was it just common sense?
No, we picked that as an experience. Hard learner experience. And it was common sense that when you get in a building, they got you zeroed in. If you're outside, you can move around. All geometry, all geometry. And I was bad at math.
No, I think you're pretty good.
I was bad at math.
So many
Trigonometry.
guys that set up in the buildings lost their lives
Yeah,
because they're firing out of a window.
yeah. Well, they go mostly in the building for the warmth, to get out of the wind and it's cold. Well, a lot of those are replacements too.
All right.
We got probably 25% replacements. They just came with they went through boot camp, go on maneuvers for a week, and get their ass overseas. 19 years old.
Did you meet any fellow soldiers that were from Buffalo or Niagara Falls?
No, all from western states.
California?
California,
Oregon?
Oregon, Mexico.
Why do you think they didn't send those guys to the Pacific?
They send the guys from New York to the Pacific.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well,
It's a lot shorter route from California to Pacific. They
well,
were,
they're not worried about the route. They want to get the men there.
yeah. That was a mega undertaking. A mega undertaking.
Fast moving, fast moving, fast moving.
So at this time, are you guys actually in Germany now, and you're on their land, in Germany?
Well, after we crossed the Rhine, yeah.
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 So the Rhine was the border, and then you got into their territory, and the Germans fought much.
Well, they kept going back to cities in Germany. They were backed up. They were backed up, and we were pushing them out.
Did the Germans eventually run out of ammunition?
Yeah, because of the RAF, and then the RAF Corps was bombing all their factories.
Did the Germans eventually end up losing a lot of fighter planes?
Fighter planes?
Yeah, the Germans.
Yeah, fighter planes are limited. They're limited. They're limited to space. They're limited to weather.
Where was it? Where did all the German planes go to?
Go?
Was there any German planes left at the end of the war?
Yeah, they were putting the scrap pile on the field someplace.
And from where you were fighting at across the Rhine, how far away was Hitler's castle from there?
Oh, probably 10, 15, 20 miles. He's up in the mountain.
Did you ever see his castle?
No, we seen it from a distance. They never let us go up there.
What do you think's going on with the castle today?
Probably a memorial for the Germans.
Because I know he had customized plates and glasses.
Yeah.
A lot of expensive paintings.
Yeah.
A lot of expensive.
Yeah, he had 6 bedrooms in that place too.
Is that where he finally died?
Hitler? Yeah, he took a capsule and that was it.
In that castle?
Yeah. He took a capsule, took a tablet.
And that was the end of it.
Yeah.
I wonder where all the SS went to after the war.
SS?
Yeah, where did they go?
Oh, they broke up, got the hell. They didn't want to get. They didn't want to know where to know them.
They kind of blended into their towns?
Yeah. Only one who knew them were the civilians in Germany. I don't think any of them came over to the States.
None of them.
They stayed over in Germany in the farms, worked on farms, worked in some of the small factories. Then they started their own business.
Yeah.
But they stayed out of the picture.
After the war, was there a big black market?
Oh, yeah.
What were they primarily selling?
Because we were looting and they were looting.
So the Americans were looting?
Oh, yeah. That guy took that motorboat home, that big cruiser.
Tell me about that. How did that work?
He's a major in the engineers.
And what the hell did he take
And
home?
that was coming now they was sending a lot of stuff home.
How would you get a yacht home?
Had the right people to talk to.
That must have been a major undertaking.
Well, he was no listen man. He was a what the hell was he?
And
Major.
So
He was a
took
major.
that home for his personal use.
Oh yeah. He's probably still got that. Without next of kin.
I'll be damned.
What else did you see looted?
They looted anything they could get hold of.
How about cigarettes?
Cigarettes were sold. Cigarettes were sold.
How about weapons?
Weapons, you get what you got.
Was those a big black market item?
No, because we were supplying half the country, half the nations with weapons. Our factories were still going. We were never bombed or nothing.
I heard prior to World War II, a lot of the people with these very expensive cars, like Rolls-Royce and Bentleys, they hid them underground or in different countries so that Germans didn't scrap them to make, equipment out of them.
Yeah.
Have you heard that also?
Did I see any of it?
No, have you heard that all the expensive cars?
They did that, but we never seen it. They must have hide it pretty good.
After the war, were there still a lot of big expensive houses left in Germany?
Yeah, what?
Was most of the big houses,
In the cities?
were they all down?
No. The Germans didn't want to kill the people. They wanted to kill the.
Well, I mean, when the Americans got in and attacked the cities of Germany, did a lot of the houses get destroyed?
No, they were selective. If the house was treated as a trader or a message center, they blow it up. But a regular civilian house, whether it was elite or what, they let it go.
What do you remember of the German farms? Were they big?
They were neat and clean.
Neat and clean?
Neat and clean.
Were they large farms or were they just like a mom and pop?
No, they were large farms, 15, 25, 30 acres.
Wow. And what do they primarily have on their farm? What type of
They
produce?
had cows, sheep, and then they had a lot of stuff growing, like a lot of fruits, not fruits, but the vegetables and that.
So you had a chance to personally look at these farms? You looked at these farms? You
Yeah,
also-
we stayed at a couple of farms. We stayed in their barns. We didn't stay in their houses.
And it was very well kept, right?
Oh yeah, we had tile floors. We didn't have tile floors at home.
But they did there.
Tile floor in the kitchen.
Yeah. And what was their living rooms like?
Living room was outdated, but it was neat and clean. All varnished, trim.
So most of the farms you went through, they were no longer occupied?
By who?
The owners.
They were still occupied?
Was the owner still there?
Oh yeah, even if they were German or not, the American army and the French army didn't do that. If you were a German civilian in your house and you weren't tested for being a traitor or a spy, they let you go.
They stay right to your house?
Yeah.
Wow.
We weren't fighting them, we were fighting the stupid system.
Yeah, the system. That's a good point. That's a good point. Then later did the German civilians accept you?
Accept us?
Yeah, they
I told you about that girl had two wooden legs.
Yeah. What happened there?
Well, she was at home, and we were on patrol. We were trying to look for our troops that deserted, and we found this beautiful house. So I told the guys, pull in there, and we'll go. I said, you go, half of you go to the barns, I'll go to the house. And there was 5 bedrooms in that house, 2-story. The kitchen was immaculate on tile on the kitchen floor. The living rooms are not rugs; they were all treated wood.
So good craftsmanship built them.
Oh yeah, all varnished and sleeked up and everything. Yeah.
So how does the girl with the wooden legs fit into that house?
What?
How does the girl with the 2 wooden legs fit into that house?
Now they stayed in that house?
Yeah, you said there was a girl with 2 wooden legs.
Yeah. Well, her parents lived there.
I see.
They were Germans, and the Germans accepted them.
I understand.
I think she married a German. Well, she's a German.
I understand. Did many of the Germans speak English?
Yeah. She was a German, and she married a German. She certainly would marry an American.
So, but did many of the Germans, farmers speak English? Or
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah.
were many of them educated?
Well, they had a lot of good schools and colleges over in Germany, and they were smart people.
Very smart. And how about, did you ever notice their farm equipment, like tractors and combines and things like
They
that?
were up to date with us. They were up to date with us. Matter of fact, we got stuff at the factory they were making here for farm equipment.
Do you think today some of the farms that you viewed back during World War II, the farms are still
Oh yeah,
active today?
yeah.
And the next
If
generation?
they didn't destroy and put buildings up or
But
something.
would you think there's a pretty good chance
Yeah,
that a lot of those farms are the next generations?
yeah.
That is really interesting. That is really interesting.
All right, you want to wrap it? We'll go next time.
Okay.
All right.